What if the funniest camp on television was hiding one of the saddest real stories in Hollywood? Hogan's heroes turned a Nazi prison camp into a playground for clever escapes and jokes that outsmarted every guard. Off-screen, this cast lived a story the show never showed you. Decades have passed, and today we're telling you who's still here, who's gone, and one death that still stops people cold. Stay with us, because you'll never watch this show the same way again. Number 1, we have the man who made the whole camp feel under his control, yet his own real life spun out of his hands. Bob Crane was born in 1928 in Waterbury, Connecticut, and was just 37 when he played Colonel Robert Hogan. Smooth and always one move ahead of the guards, Crane made Hogan the coolest man ever trapped in a prison camp. He had already built a name in radio, and later headlined The Bob Crane Show. Then in 1978, at just 49, Bob Crane was murdered in a hotel room in Scottsdale, Arizona, and to this day, nobody has ever been convicted. The man who played the smartest guy in the camp never found out how his own story ended. Number 2, we have the man who played the most clueless officer in the German army, yet was one of the most respected performers of his generation. Werner Klemperer was born in 1920 in Cologne, Germany, and was 45 when he took on Colonel Klink. Nervous and hilariously clueless, Klemperer turned the commandant into a villain who could never win. He built a serious career in film and classical music, with roles in Judgment at Nuremberg and Operation Eichmann. He died in 2000 at 80 after a battle with cancer. Klink thought he was always in charge while Hogan quietly ran the camp around him, and that joke never got old. Number 3, we have the smallest man in the barracks, who carried the biggest heart in the show. Robert Clary was born in 1926 in Paris, France, and was only 39 when he played LeBeau. Small and full of charm, Clary gave LeBeau a warmth impossible not to love. Few fans knew Clary was a real Holocaust survivor, held in Nazi camps as a teenager before he ever played one on TV. He later worked as a singer and soap actor. He died in 2022 at 96, the last member of the original cast still alive. LeBeau outlasted everyone, on the show and off it. Number 4, we have the guy who could talk his way out of anything, and outside the show, talked his way onto TV's biggest stage. Richard Dawson was born in 1932 in Gosport, England, and was just 32 when he played Corporal Newkirk. Slick and always ready with a disguise, Dawson made the con man feel like the heart of the operation. After the show, he became huge, first on Match Game, then as the first host of Family Feud. He died in 2012 at 79, after a fight with esophageal cancer. Newkirk could talk his way past any guard, and so could the man playing him. Number 5, we have the soldier who looked far too innocent to be dangerous, and that's exactly why the plan always worked. Larry Hovis was born in 1936 in Wapato, Washington, and was only 29 when he played Sergeant Andrew Carter. Sweet and secretly brilliant with explosives, Hovis made Carter the guy who looked harmless until something needed to blow up. Away from the cameras, he worked as a singer, writer, and producer, far more range than his shy image let on. Then in 2003, at 67, Larry Hovis lost his battle with cancer, and one of the gentlest members of the cast was gone. Carter never needed to be the toughest guy in the room, and that made him one of the hardest to say goodbye to. If you're the kind of fan who remembers every scheme Hogan pulled off, drop a comment and tell us which character you loved most. Number 6, we have the calm voice on the radio who kept the whole operation running, and off-screen was just as important behind the camera. Ivan Dixon was born in 1931 in New York City, and was 34 when he played Sergeant Kinchloe. Smart and cool under pressure, Dixon made Hogan's radio man feel like the backbone of the mission. He built a serious career as an actor and director, working on Nothing But a Man. He died in 2008 at 76 after kidney failure. Kinchloe never needed to raise his voice to matter, and neither did the man who played him. Think about that for a second. It's been more than 50 years since this show first aired, and one by one, the faces that made it feel alive have quietly slipped away. Number 7, we have the booming voice that could make a grown commandant panic just by walking through the door. Leon Askin was born in 1907 in Vienna, Austria, and was 58 when he played General Burkhalter. Stern and always irritated, Askin turned Burkhalter into the officer who ruined Klink's day by showing up. He had a huge career across European theater and film. He died in 2005 at 97, one of the longest lives of the cast. Every visit from Burkhalter meant trouble for Klink, which made Hogan's secret wins even sweeter. Number 8, we have the woman who worked inside enemy headquarters and never let anyone see what she really knew. Sigrid Valdis was born in 1935 in Bakersfield, California, and was 30 when she played Hilda. Pretty and quietly amused by the chaos around her, Valdis gave Klink's office a softer energy. She had already worked in the Wild Wild West and Our Man Flint. Once the cameras stopped, she chose a quieter life. She died in 2007 at 72 from lung cancer. Hilda always looked like she knew more than she let on, and off-screen, that might have been true too. Number 9, we have the man who joined this camp late, but still made sure every secret message landed. Kenneth Washington was born in 1936 in Ethel, Mississippi, and was 33 when he played Sergeant Baker. Calm and easy to trust, Washington slipped into Hogan's crew as the man behind the radio for the final stretch. Later, you could catch him in Star Trek and A Different World. He died in 2025 at 88, after battling prostate cancer. Baker never had to make noise to matter, he just had to make sure the mission got through. We drop new stories like this every 2 days, so if you don't want to miss the next one, now's a good time to hit subscribe. Number 10, we have the guard who always seemed one bad order from falling apart. John Cedar was born in 1931 in Detroit, Michigan, and was 34 when he played Corporal Langenscheidt. Nervous and clearly not built for Hogan's tricks, Cedar gave the role a softer, funnier kind of panic. You can spot him all over classic TV, from Kojak to Murder, She Wrote. He died in 2011 at 80. Langenscheidt was funny precisely because he never had a clue what was going on, and that made him one of the most human guards in the camp. Number 11, we have the one officer in this camp never part of the joke. Edward Knight was born in 1927 in New York, and was 38 when he played Gestapo Major Metzger. Cold and genuinely dangerous in a way Klink never was, Knight brought a sharper shadow into the comedy. He later appeared in Combat and Mission Impossible. He died in 2009 at 82. Metzger mattered because he wasn't there to be funny, he was there to remind you the danger was real. Number 12, we have the quiet man in the shadows who never needed a big speech. Walter Janowitz was born in 1913 in Teplitz, Schunau, then Austria-Hungary, and was 52 when he played Oskar Schnitzer. Quiet and useful in that secret network kind of way, Janowitz gave the resistance story a serious edge. He appeared in The Jazz Singer and The Incredible Hulk. He died in 1997 at 84. Schnitzer reminded viewers that Hogan's world stretched far beyond the camp. Stop and think about it. This show first aired in 1965, which means we're talking about a cast and a world more than 60 years in the past. Number 13, we have the officer whose biggest weapon was his own confidence, and it always backfired. Bernard Fox was born in 1927 in Port Talbot, Wales, and was 38 when he played Colonel Crittenden. Cheerfully clueless and painfully British, Fox made Crittenden the man who could ruin a perfect escape plan by trying to help. He later became beloved as Dr. Bombay on Bewitched and appeared in Titanic. He died in 2016 at 89. Crittenden brought a different kind of chaos, and every rescue attempt turned into a headache Hogan had to fix. Number 14, we have a face you might not remember, but a voice you've heard. John Stevenson was born in 1923 in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and was 42 when he played Decker in a single guest spot. Sharp-voiced and convincing, Stevenson brought a crisp rhythm to his brief scene. His real career was in voice work, especially The Flintstones. He died in 2015 at 91, after complications from Alzheimer's disease. Decker was a small role, but that voice gave one short scene the authority the show needed. Sit with that for a second. Hogan's Heroes ended in 1971, and some of these actors have now been gone longer than the show was even on the air. Number 15, we have the woman nobody in the camp could fully trust, and that was the point. Nita Talbot was born in 1930 in New York City, and was 36 when she played Maria. Glamorous and never as innocent as she looked, Talbot brought a spy game sparkle that kept Hogan guessing. She built a long career, including a run on The Man from U.N.C.L.E. as of 2026. Nita Talbot is 95, long retired. Maria always felt like she had one more secret behind that smile, and maybe she still does. Number 16, we have the resistance fighter who understood the danger before anyone spoke. Arlene Martel was born in 1936 in New York City and was 29 when she played Tiger. Cool and built for undercover tension, Martel made Tiger feel like someone who belonged in real danger. She became familiar to fans as Teppering in the original Star Trek. She died in 2014 at 78 after a heart attack. Tiger made Hogan's world feel bigger than jokes inside one camp. Number 17, we have the woman who was there from the beginning, before the show found its rhythm. Cynthia Lynn was born in 1936 in Riga, Latvia, and was 29 when she played Helga. Polished and always caught near Klink's office chaos, Lynn gave the early seasons a bright energy. She later appeared in Mission Impossible, before stepping away from acting. She died in 2014 at 76, from multiple organ failure after hepatitis. Helga never had to steal a joke to matter. Lynn simply made every scene feel warmer. If this video has you feeling nostalgic, do us a favor and share it with the one friend who still quotes this show word for word. And finally, number 18, We have the guard who supposedly saw nothing, no matter what was happening in front of him. John Banner was born in 1910 in Vienna, Austria, and was 55 when he first stepped into the boots of Sergeant Schultz. Round-faced and somehow lovable, Banner turned "I know nothing" into one of TV's most beloved catchphrases. He spent decades on stage, film, and television. He died in 1973 at just 63 after a sudden heart attack, one of the first of this cast the world lost. Schultz became the show's softest weapon, a guard who could stand next to Hogan's biggest secret and still choose to see absolutely nothing. So that's the cast of Hogan's heroes, then and now, in 2026. Some lived long, quiet lives far from the cameras, some left far too soon. And somehow, after 61 years, this show about a prison camp full of jokes still makes people laugh the way it did the day it first aired. Here's the part that stays with you longest. The man who played the ultimate escape artist, the one character who always got away with everything, is the only one whose own ending nobody has ever solved.